on upstreaming of funds, which is going to be implemented from July. Although we have requested SEBI for the extension also, as there are many reasons for not implementing it in haste and without preparedness at different points and different levels. As it is going to be implemented eventually in times to come, we have planned this webinar, which CPI does for the benefit of our members and providing them the hand-holding through interaction and deliberation with the exchanges and clearing corps. Thank you all for joining this webinar, even at our short notice, which was planned last week only, to deliberate on this implementation, which is going to affect everyone in our industry as very drastically, I may say that. We have requested and asked our members to raise issues and their apprehensions so that we can try to compile all of them and send it to the regulators and exchanges and also discuss it in today's webinar. In today's webinar, the format is that Sheikh Kumar ji, our past president, and MD of Bonanza, and Ajay Garg ji, our vice president of CPI, will take up the issues compiled by us. Before that, I request our chief mentor, Shri Ashok Agarwal ji, chairman Globe, to speak about the subject of today's seminar and tell us how it is going to change our lives in times to come. Over to you, Ashok ji. I'm so sorry for the glitch today once again. Over to you, Ashok ji.
Thank you, Vadva ji. I think the kind of attendance we have seen, it is unprecedented. So sorry for the glitch, but the technology is something which we cannot control beyond a point. So I like to welcome Piyush ji, Renu ji, Huzaifa ji, Sandeep ji, Naresh ji, and of course, good evening to our President Vadva ji, Shiv Kumar ji, our past President Ajay ji, Sandeep ji. Now, I think we are one of the most efficient capital market in the world. And the client collateral allocation at CC level is unprecedented. I don't think there is any other CC in the world which have access to client collateral at client level. So now the CC knows what is the collateral of which client at broker. Of course, there is no limit of efficiency and control and regulation. Now, coming to this client collateral, the latest circular, there is a reporting of reason for collateral withdrawal. I was just looking at it. Now, for any collateral withdrawal, we have to give reason. So, I don't know. I thought you should have given all the reason, and then there should be a clause where it says any other reason. Because I was just looking at it, and things that come to my mind is in statutory levies, we have not included GST, and the list of statutory levies even does not mention etc. So and in payment also, I think if there is a payment for SLBM charges, or there is a payment for, let us say, auction specifically auction where it is a client to client auction, how to recover those charges. So I think there should be a column in this any other charges, even for brokerage and other charges. It says DP charges. So there is interest that broker charges from its client for, let us say, giving them 50-50 facility, where client is giving shares of more than 50% and the broker is investing their own capital and they have to charge for that. So I think we may need to include one more clause, any other charges. And of course, I think members have issues on this tenure of FD, because FD tenure specified, I know it has been specified by SEBI, is 12 months. So if it can be instead of 12 months, 13 months, maybe life will be easier because bank give you much better interest rate on 13-month FD than on 12-month FD. So I think that is again something which should consider. So I'm not going into detail because these points will be taken up by Shiv Kumar ji and Ajay Garg ji, and MIIs will clarify. So thank you for inviting me, Vadwa ji, and over to you, Vadwa ji.
Thank you, Ashok ji. Thank you for brief introduction of the circular and how it's going to change our lives. Say Vikram Kothari sir was also due to join us, but because of his personal commitment, he couldn't join. Now I request Piyush ji, Chief Regulatory Officers, NCL, to guide us through and tell us what is the preparedness of this circular at CC level. And after this, I'll give it to Renu ma'am also, as we have received a circular yesterday giving us a few detailing of this upstreaming circular. And because members would like to know about the impact of this circular on implementation of this upstreaming. Over to you, Piyush ji.
Thank you, Narendra ji. Thank you, Ashok ji. So what I'll do is I will quickly address the two questions which Ashok ji had posed, because I think they are the ones which everyone has. And after that, I think we'll give it to Renu. The first question Ashok ji had was that there are a lot of charges which are probably not covered under the reason codes currently. And should there be any other kind of a column? So the thing is that SEBI was not comfortable in placing something called any other, because what will happen is expectation that something that column will be become the most dominant column, because when people are doing withdrawal charges, they might not apply mind and simply put as any other. So what we can do is, if you tell us what all other question or all other charges for which you want clarification, we will go through them one by one. We will either tell you as a part of FAQ that where out of the existing reason codes they should come in, or if required, then we'll create more reason codes. But a catch-all kind of a reason code, others may not be feasible for us, because SEBI has told us that ye to possible nahi hai. But whatever are the questions, we will definitely look at each of the withdrawal reason which you can tell us, and we will provide a clarification of can it be covered under existing one, or if required, then we'll create a new one for that. No worries about that. Second point is on the FD tenure. Actually, sir, CC doesn't have any intent or anything of 12 months. It's coming out of SEBI circular. So I'm not sure if we'll be able to comment on that, why 12 months or why cannot be 13 months, because for us, it's the same. So that is definitely something which is outside the purview or scope of either exchange clearing corp. That's why you have to make a reputation to SEBI only for any election in that regard.
The thing is, I think thank you for the clarification. For this FD tenure, maybe we will request you, and then you can recommend it to SEBI, because 12 months and 13 months with the provision that whenever the FDR is encashed, you will get minimum principal, but life will be much easier for the broking community.
No, sir, totally well taken, sir.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
Sir, this 12-month restriction is not applicable to the proprietary FDR?
So before Shiv Kumar ji, say Piyush ji, as you know, we were also part of IAC, this committee, and when it was being discussed, it was made clear by the WTM at that time that this is applicable to clients' money only, not the prop one. And but few of our members have written in our groups that when they inquired from you, you have mentioned that it is applicable for prop funds also. I think if you can clarify that, because in IAC meeting, it was made very clear that it is not applicable for prop funds.
Correct, sir. So the upstreaming circular per se is not applicable to prop funds of TM or CM. However, in case of FDs, the thing is that we cannot differentiate between client FD and member FD. Plus, member is also allowed to allocate to the client from the same FD. Now, there's suppose I give example. Suppose a client has given 100 rupees to the member. Member created FD in the beginning saying it's a prop FD. And then member allocates out of the existing prop FD 100 rupees to client and then takes it as a client withdrawal and take it to his account. Then the prop FD, which was originally assumed to be prop FD, gets transformed into a client FD. So there's no way we can check that. And that is why right now the restriction is across the FDs that none of the FDs can be beyond 12 months.
You did now, but again, we have to devise some mechanism so that, because of the prop fund being used as a FDR, how we can differentiate and, make it for a longer duration. I think we have to sort it out. This is a major issue for most of the members, basically.
No, the point after take, we understand your point, sir, but there's no way for us to segregate client FD of client and prop in the systems, because otherwise allocation is one single system. And you are allowed to do prop to client allocation even today.
Usually, like how to take care of the residual tenure? If the residual tenure is more than, say, 12 months, when the circular is applicable, then how to take care of that?
Sir, as per the current provision of the circular of SEBI, it has to be redone. आपको कट ये करना पड़ेगा वापस. Unless SEBI gives exemption or provides some kind of grandfathering, we'll have to ask you to replace those FDs.
Yeah, yes. We would request you to raise this point, like at least the grandfathering clause should be added so that the member should not lose interest out of that.
So,
understood. That point is well taken again. We have absolutely no issues in terms of basically in terms of doing this, any of these things, but the thing is currently SEBI circular has this problem. आप SEBI को भी represent करिए, हमको भी करिए. We'll see what can be done about that.
So before Ashayji, you take the other questions. Initially, I request Renu ma'am to guide us what is expected from members by the regulator and how to follow the rules so that we are on the right side of the law. And especially, you came out with the circular yesterday. So what it has, what exactly is that for implementation of the circular?
Thank you, Narendra ji. I think Piyush already started with the objective of this circular, that this actually circular was brought in so that all the client funds are upstream to CC or CM, so that just to protect the client assets, etc. So therefore, one is the objective. We all know how we will be actually doing it. We need to actually upstream everything which is there in the client bank accounts. So mota what we need to do, that either we create FD and we take it up, or we invest in overnight funds and take it up, or cash also can go up. Only thing, we will be having a much disciplined way to handle these funds of clients, so that anytime we are withdrawing also, as CC also has showed, that we will have some kind of codes that for what purpose we have withdrawn. And I think there will not be any difficulty, because if you know, already we were maintaining the reconciliation statement. This has been since 2016 itself, when enhanced supervision circular came. And it was said that on a daily basis we have to maintain. So it is exactly that only, nothing else. Only thing that it has been now implemented through CC mechanism, that when we take release, from then itself we start maintaining that what is the purpose of release of those funds. A lot of questions are coming. Of course, we will take Q&A also. But few questions mainly are whether client bank accounts can continue, and do we need to open new accounts. So we can actually rename these accounts, or we can open new accounts also, but no account will remain as client bank account, which is must. So we can actually rename all these accounts, either upstream or downstream, and we can have multiple upstream and multiple downstream. That's not supposed issue. Only thing, between these two accounts there will be no transfers, in the sense that from US to DS there will be no transfer. From DS it can come back, because US has to go only up. as in the beginning also Piyush started, that these upstreaming accounts will take funds only to CC. And once it comes back, it has to come to DS. From there only the client payments will be made. And I know you would be having a lot of questions. FD anyway, you have given your suggestions, and Piyush also said that we will be taking it to SEBI, and you also put a word. But we will also be taking it to SEBI that this is a representation. And any questions, I feel I think without taking much time from my side, there are a lot of questions. I think if we do more answers to the questions of the participants, that would be good. Let us take those questions, Narendra.
Thank you, Renu. Since we have asked our members and requested them to raise their issues and their apprehensions, and we have compiled those questions. So my colleague Ajay Garg will be taking some of the issues. Then Shiv Kumar ji will take it halfway.
Sure,
Over to you, Ajay. Ajay ji.
Yeah, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
So, like a lot of queries I've received from the members, as Bhadwadi stated, and the first and foremost question was regarding the FD only. So we have already discussed a lot of things. The only one point more is there into FD, like if there is shifting from the FD shifting from one CC to another CC, so there might be some transition period. Transition time. So we are requesting CCs to take care of that. Like the member should be able to take care of that FD, and because of this transition, the member should not lose out the reporting part. So if Renuji, Piyush can elaborate that. Say if we want to shift FD from, say, one clearing corporation to another clearing corporation, or one segment to another segment, how would it happen?
Ajay ji, currently also when we are looking at availability of creditors fund, if any FD which is in transit, we do not levy any penalty, etc., and we do not say it as a shortfall of client funds. But now with this upstreaming, of course, we have taken this point from you, and we will see if we can, if we are able to give some kind of a process that within this, because ultimately anything in transit for us also difficult to track. But in the past, all members are aware, if we have found anything which is in transit, we have not looked at it as a shortfall, because FD has been created, it was not deposited. But we have to try to deposit these FDs on a daily basis while we are upstreaming those funds. But we have noted this concern that how to deal with the FDs which are in transit.
Okay, thank you, madam. And so next point relates to this mutual fund overnight scheme. So, as we understand that from the upstream account, the fund can be parked to the mutual fund oversight scheme, and same can be replaced UCC wise, and the benefit can be given. So, but there are a lot of operational issues into this. So I will not take up all the issues, but the major issue is like because the client ledger account is very dynamic, it keeps on changing. So whatever fund is parked into MFOS, say for one UCC I've parked today, and in the same day or next day I need to change to another UCC. When the current process is, first I have to unpledge the security and then again pledge it with the another UCC. So this process is very cumbersome, and we have suggested that if same can be treated as FDR and can be allocated by the clearing member or the stockbroker, so this process would become very seamless. Yeah, Piyush or Renu, any comment on this?
Ajay, actually, with the perspective or with the objective of that all the even the mutual funds which are being subscribed by through the client funds are segregated client by them, because we have a mechanism from deposit itself that it can be segregated. Therefore, this was actually kept so that we have segregated.
Renu, do you want me to take it? Okay, so
Yeah.
one of the things is that as per the current SEBI regulations, securities cannot be allocated. Only the cash and cash equivalent जो आपका जो cash FD BG होता है, only that can be allocated. Anything which is coming from deposit account, it has to only come through pledge repledge route. That is already existing SEBI regulation, and that is why this is यहाँ पे allocation नहीं होगा. यहाँ पे आपको pledge repledge route से ही आना पड़ेगा client level. ये current SEBI regulation sir.
That usually that is right, but this process is becoming very complicated. So what is a way out so that it should be feasible to be workable?
Sir, आप depository को आप you can ask for API to depositories so that you can do it easily, seamlessly through an API mechanism rather than doing a file upload and unpledged repledged through file upload. Maybe you can ask depository for API for that. That will become easier from operationally.
Yeah. Or some sort of swapping, UCC swapping is possible instead of unpledged. So I think that thing can serve the purpose.
Sir, at our end it cannot happen, but at depository end also I define it. I don't think it will be possible, but maybe you can ask it. But I don't think it is possible even depository end, where you can swap one UCC for another UCC.
Okay, now let me take another point. This nomenclature and the more bank accounts has to be opened for upstreaming and downstreaming. So a lot of banks takes a lot of time in doing that, especially the PSU banks.
So we have spoken to a couple of banks. I think to apply to them, they should do it quickly, because they also are aware of this circular. But if you have not yet initiated, then would be a problem, because the circular has come some time back.
And because now the 2 accounts would be opened, so like the limit of 30 bank accounts would again be a problem, because in all, because the member do have settlement account with say one bank, and paying payout they are doing with another bank. So in settlement bank account they have to open this both the inward and outward bank account, and even to in another bank they have to open both the accounts. So the numbers might increase because of this.
So Aditi, I'll just share my experience. So one is that settlement accounts are out of this 330. 30 is not for the settlement, only client account. Now all these client accounts needs to be renamed as US or DS, you know. When we look at the entire market, 99.9% of members are not having more than 15 banks. This is the data says which we have. So entire member community is having only accounts with these 15 banks. They don't have in other, and there are number of accounts are also limited to 15 only. So therefore, I feel that more accounts are not required, but still, if you feel, we'll see later. Currently, I don't find, because 15, if our US kind of account will be renamed, then we can have 15 more accounts as DS also. This is what data says, which we have as a reporting.
Okay, but the few members, big members might face this problem.
If anything comes later, we will have a look at it. But currently, I am just saying, I am sharing the data which is currently reported by all the members to exchange. It says that they have accounts only with 15 clearing banks. And in all these banks, having one account is sufficient. If we now take 2 accounts also, which is one US and one DS, then also it serves the purpose. Certainly, we will have a look if you feel after renaming few accounts at US and few DS, more accounts are required, then we will have a look at it and we can rework on it afterwards.
Okay, okay, thank you, ma'am. So now I would come to the next point. This is related to the timing, like the time limit now that even the yesterday circular has come, then clearing MCL has given the time limit of say 7 p.m. for upstreaming and 4:30 p.m. for cutoff time for the downstreaming. So now the payment comes after, because we keep on receiving payments from the clients, and the client, even it is online banking 24/7, the banks are open. So how can we stop client that they should not give payment? And because we have to do the RMS also, and even the commodity markets are open till say 11:45, 11:30. So how to manage that? This is like very impossible to do the RMS and stopping the client to take the fund.
So as of now, we'll have to make awareness among clients saying that these are my upstreaming accounts. One is that you have to deposit only these accounts, and second is that you should not be depositing money after this cut-off time. To awareness, we'll have to ask them not to deposit money after this, because then you are not able to
Voice,
upstream.
the voice is
Your
not very.
voice is very low, not clear. Can you be loud, please?
Sure. No, I'm saying that you will have to make awareness to clients saying that these are the accounts which are upstream accounts. One is that amount only has to be deposited only in these accounts. And second is that they should not be depositing money after this cutoff time, because this is coming through a regulation. And therefore, the money should not be deposited after this cutoff time.
But how it is practical, like, because the RMS team and everyone is up to the client to give the money and like reduce their shortage. And if you stop them giving payment, say after cut-off time, so even for the broker and for the associates, it would become very difficult to manage and they would get a route to deny that. They would say that they are ready to make the payment and you are not taking it. And commodity derivative segment is open till 11:30. How to manage that as well?
I could hear Ajay, what did you say last?
Renuji, your voice is not clear. Earlier it was coming fine.
No, I was saying that Ajay, I couldn't hear last point what you are saying.
Last point, I'm saying that even the commodity market is open till 11:30 and a lot of fluctuations are there into commodity market. Immediately the MTM or margin increases. So we have to receive the payment immediately. Take the payment from the clients immediately.
I understand your concern also. So let us push this way first to go in the spirit of the circular, that we ask clients and make awareness to clients that money which has to be deposited has to be deposited within this cutoff time. If we face any issues going forward, we will take it up with regulator, taking feedback from you.
And any payment comes after 12 o'clock would be considered for the next day?
If it comes after 12 midnight?
Yeah.
Ideally, yes. Because it should be from the beginning of the day, next day.
The next point is like there is a requirement that both the upstreaming and downstreaming account should be we have to make nil. So in case like the payout has been made through check and the client has to deposit the check and it say it is a clearing payment is there, then how it is possible to make the account zero?
So Ajay ji, as you are aware, have been communicating to members that now all the fees and payments, etc. For one is the payment, this should be done through EFT, NEFT, etc., which is online payment. And you are aware that the payments through checks are very, very less percentage. So I would encourage that we must do payments online so that these issues will not be there. But after that also, if we find anything which is due to this reason, we will have a look.
Sir, your
we need to-
voice can be little louder, please. Request.
No, I am saying that if you know that we have to make payments through NEFT now, and it has been in practice for quite some time. So making payments through checks are very, very less percentage. So we will have to see what kind of percentage which you have made the payments through checks are actually there as undebited in the account. Because in settlement also we have been clarifying earlier also through various circulars that all these payments should be only through NEFT and RTGS, which means online. So again, checks issues should not be there, because we have said only in the extreme situations when these payments are getting online payments are getting rejected, you should issue the checks.
Can I add, Ajayji, 1 or 2 points
Yeah,
here?
You can add.
Renuji, 2 things. One, can we say that can there be auto instruction from through SEBI that whatever this upstreaming account, they are automatically transferred to the CC at that particular time, something like that? Or the designated accounts from TM to CM and CM to CC, so that there is no problem. Let it be transferred, auto transferred at 12 o'clock. So then there is, the clients also doesn't suffer, commodity market also continues, and it is an auto process to the banks.
Sir, one is that SEBI cannot issue direction to banks because banks do not come under their purview. Second is that banks जो है उनके यहाँ पे भी for doing interbank transfers, they have their own limits and challenges. So the reason why we have upstreaming cutoff time also is because of banks ka interbank what they can support to us. After that, they are not able to support interbank transfers. So that is currently the issue in terms of mandating any kind of auto upstream.
Also, see, my point is it will result in a lot of inconvenience to the clients. I'm saying we are doing business for ease of business to the clients also. That point is there. The commodity markets are opened in 11:30, 11:45, and if funds comes in through this NEFT, etc., after the cutoff time, how do I return? What do I do? It is one is communicating. We will communicate as a member. We will communicate to the clients. But how do we deal with this? That is my only submission. So if there could be some sort of a auto instructions from suppose there are multiple upstreaming accounts, then again the transfer will be another issue.
And I would add one more point, like if we deposit a check into the upstream account and check bouncing time is say after 7 o'clock. So how would I transfer? Because check is into uncleared form and it gets cleared say after 7 o'clock. So this again is because in case of check, because Renuji is right, like more than 80-90% of the payment is through UPI or NEFT or through fund transfer. But still there are say 10% of the cases, 10 to 15% of the cases which are deposited, and even the client take checks for payout as well.
Renuji was saying about the check issued by the members, but we receive around 10% checks from the clients, and they remain under clearing, and the clearing amount get credited.
I understand.
Clearing amount get credited in our account around 8 o'clock. We don't know exact status of this. So what do we do?
I understand. Therefore, I'm saying that
नहीं काम करिए सर, आप एक काम करिए. नहीं, there are two parts. One is that Denu mentioned, you cannot give payout to client through check. पेन आपको चेक से आ रहा है, फर्स्ट इज वन इज डेफिनेटली यू हैव टू also educate your clients, one not to give after 7 p.m. or after 6 p.m. second also not to use check, अभी तो हम डिजिटल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन बात करते हैं, राइट, डिजिटल पेमेंट्स. थर्ड इज if you can also share with us and SEBI what percentage of client funds you receive after 6 p.m. That also is something which I think we should look at, because right now we might be looking at, sir, थोड़ा hypothetical situation कि it can come, a lot of money can come, but maybe you should also look at the data, sir.
USG, from my data, I'm just saying daily around 5 to 7% of the payments are getting cleared after 8 o'clock daily.
Usually you see, like even today's data shows that more than 50% of the new accounts are opened from tier 3, tier 4 cities, and people might not be that conversant of the even of the digital payment.
नहीं sir, again I'm again saying that hypothetical, let's not talk about hypothetical. आप exact data दीजिए. Like you mentioned that
Then 7%. I have one more point, Ajay ji. You are saying that if these people are not able to open accounts and give a digital payment, then how will you be remitting them money? Because we say that you have to do only electronic transfers, and if these people who are not able to do electronic, then how we will be settling their accounts through electronic transfers? Because you are saying, and in fact I think entire industry says that almost 99%, 98% payments are going through NEFT only, and it is mandatory. And only in cases where we are not able to transfer and payments gets rejected, we will issue checks. So in such a scenario, of course, if you share the data, we'll have a look.
The payout is still into members' hand, but the pay-in is not into the members' hand. It depends upon the client.
Renuji, we are talking about receipt of fund from client. I agree fully with you about the payment by us to the client.
I understood. मैं अजय जी की बात बोल रही थी. अजय जी बोल रहे थे कि वो tier 2, tier 3 जगह से हैं और वो लोग चेक ही देते हैं.
हाँ, check मतलब 10, 15, 20% of the check might be there. I would also look into my data.
एक काम करते हैं ना अजय जी, पीयूष जी भी बोल रहे थे, एक काम करते हैं, आप थोड़ा सा डेटा आफ्टर जो भी कट ऑफ टाइम है उसके बाद आपका कितना पैसा आता है, लेट्स हैव अ लुक एट इट, देन सी द प्रॉब्लम.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think what Renu madam and Piyush ji is saying, let us give them data, because if we are saying we are receiving payment after 6 p.m., let us give them data how much of the payment that we have received after 6 p.m. Because then they can take it up with SEBI, because then it is something authentic and something with base. So I think that is a good point, and let us collect the data and try and give it to SEBI and exchanges.
So I'll request all the members who are here to give us their data, what amount, what percentage of amount they received after the cutoff date, so that we compile it and give it to the.
Yeah, I think it's a very valid point and clarification by Piyush ji and Renu ji. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's a valid thing. That is what we will do. Yes, Ajay ji, please continue.
Please continue, Ajay ji.
Next point has already been discussed with Piyush ji regarding getting funds from CC within various reasons, but reconciling it on daily basis is a hell of the job. So Piyush ji, can you highlight what is the need of this reconciliation, and because and what kind of purpose it is serving? Because it would be a lot of back office activity, because ledger account is very dynamic. Like the bills are coming, the payments are coming, the margins are coming at various level of time, and even during the day, client position is changing from one segment to another segment. So while asking money from CC with various reason code and side by side doing the reconciliation is hell of the job. So would you throw some light?
We are not asking you to do real time given reason code to us. दिन में आपने अगर 50 बार पैसा मांगा है, आपको एक ही बार देना है reason code at sum of all withdrawals during the day. We are not asking you to do entry by entry reason code.
No, but even the time I'm asking the money, the position is something else. At the EOD, the position is something else. I don't know how the back office vendors would manage this. So we receive a lot of representation from the members that how it is possible to provide. I think back office vendors has to work out, or even the clearing corporation or exchanges can guide.
Sir, एक minute. Why do you want your money? ये तो आपको पता होना चाहिए ना. You cannot just randomly ask money and say that मुझे पता नहीं मैंने क्यों मांगा है, but मांगा है. Right?
But-
so when you ask money from CC, you know that why you asked it. Now we are not asking you to do real time. Give me a reason. We are saying that end of day पे आपने जितना पैसा निकाला है उसका आपको ब्रेकअप दे दीजिए कि किस कारण से निकाला है. We are not asking you to do real time. So if you say that हमको पता ही नहीं हमने क्यों निकाला है पैसा, that is also not acceptable ना sir.
एंड जस्ट टू ऐड सर, मैं बोल रही थी आपको कि 2015 के बाद 2016 में भी जो सेबी का सर्कुलर है, दैट आल्सो टॉक्स अबाउट रिकंसिलिएशन स्टेटमेंट हर रोज बनाना है ना, एट ऑल पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम. तो जितना पैसा पहले हम क्लाइंट से ओन में लेके जाते थे, ओन से क्लाइंट में लेके जाते थे, वी वर टू रिकॉर्ड रीजंस. सो इट इज एग्जैक्टली द सेम. ओनली थिंग नाउ इट इज गेटिंग रिपोर्टेड ऑन अ like daily basis.
So that, Renu, this is what I'm stating, that doing it on the daily basis, I don't know how feasible it is.
नहीं नहीं, मैं बोल रही हूँ अजय जी, उसमें भी डेली बेसिस का ही रिक्वायरमेंट है. जो 2016 का सर्कुलर है एनहांस सुपरविजन का, उसमें यही बोलता है कि अपना जो फंड लेके जा रहे हैं, वी आर टेकिंग फ्रॉम क्लाइंट टू ओन टू क्लाइंट. Then one is that it has to be only for legitimate reasons, and second it says that we have to have reconciliation. We should record it.
Legitimate reason is absolutely okay, but reconciling it and having report, like, I think the back office vendor has to work on that. So we can come back to you after discussing the things with them. But this kind of representation we have received from members.
जी.
We have received the representation that the CC would take, say, 2 hours time, or if the fund has been given into upstreaming and now the client asks money immediately for in case of any emergency. So this is one concern we received, that how the fund can be released, because the fund can only be given once it goes to the downstream account.
Ajay ji, you need some, this question is targeted to Renu ma'am or Piyush ji?
No, anyone can, because the point relates to NCL only.
Okay.
Because the money is there into upstream account, and after transferring, in case of any emergency, client is asking for the payout. So as per the current system, the money has to move to CC, then it will come to downstream, and then the money can be given back to the client.
देखिए सर, अभी प्रोसेस तो we don't, it's not an our hand to change it, of how the flow is defined by SEBI. In terms of timelines, generally in NSE clearance case, you get the money within 15-20 minutes after you ask for withdrawal. So that is something which we can tell about from NCL perspective. So a 2 hour is the outer timeline which is being given to CC. It is not the average time which CC takes. Generally it takes around 15-20 minutes for any kind of a withdrawal request to be processed. Second is that if it's a small amount, technically even you can pay it off your own account and then take withdrawal from the CC and take it to your account. So that is also, which is I think okay. Only thing is that you cannot do netting between clients. कि एक client का पैसा आया, दूसरे withdrawal मांगा तो आपने वही net कर दिया, that is not permissible.
हाँ, और लेकिन आपके खुद के अकाउंट से मत दीजिए, बिकॉज ओन अकाउंट से क्लाइंट को डीएस में पैसा पड़ा है, उस दिन आपने लिया है रिलीज, उससे पहले थोड़ा, इफ दैट वर्क्स आउट, आप क्लाइंट वाइज तो मांग नहीं रहे हैं आप रिलीज, तो इफ इन डीएस यू हैव सम मनी, यू पे आउट ऑफ दैट फंड एंड यू कैन रिलीज फर्दर फंड्स हियर.
We can pay out of our own fund and we can treat the outstream amount as own amount.
I'm saying that you can do, but ultimately this also has to be paid from DS account only, because payments to client will be made only from DS. So therefore, if in DS you have some money which you have taken as a payout in the morning or any time during the day, you pay that person who's asking in urgent need, and by the time another lot will come to you, any 15-20 minutes mein aa hi jayega aapke paas, so you can make payment to other clients through that.
Okay. Okay, I would come to the next point. So this is related to like if the client has got pay in into one segment and payout into another segment. So how it should be treated like. And
What do you want to treat it? I have not understood the question.
pay in cash segment and payout in F&O, or like I think some circular came yesterday only relating to the unutilized margin can be adjusted against the pay-in obligation, which we received. So this point talks of that only. So the segment wise, in one segment the pay-in is there, in another segment payout is there, or if the unutilized margin is lying with the CC. So unutilized margin lying, the sub process has been given in the yesterday circular. Shiv Kumar ji, would you take up from here?
I will try. Just one second. तो आप screen आप share करते जाएंगे?
Yeah, I would share.
Question number 11. For release of ABC and moving funds across other segment, other CC till 31st December 23 will be an intricate, challenging, posing merit of the problems. Utilization of question is utilization of surplus unutilized collateral lying with the CC in cash form towards the funds paid. How can we get it released for the paying purpose? Yeah, this is covered in the yesterday's circular, madam.
Hello. Yes, sir. It is covered in yesterday's circular.
It is covered.
Yeah, if you have excess collateral, you can ask for a value date release, which will get you will get a credit towards the paying time.
Value date request, I can do it today itself for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is a big facility for the members. They can make the request.
And that request you can place till 7 PM also, sir.
We can place it.
What about if it is like multi CC, like if the money is lying in MCX and it has to be utilized in NCL?
So that you will have to, sir, then ask for release from MCX and transfer it in the morning, sir. Because I don't know multi CC, I am not sure how it will handle, sir. But within the same CC, we can do that.
Yeah. So this question relates to that as well. If it is inter CC, then how this? Because client will not give money, and the broker has to deploy their own money.
Next question, Ajay ji. Just maximum. I think next question number 12. Maximum 30 accounts limitation is there. Now this upstream accounts and downstream accounts, I think the Renu ma'am has clarified that existing client account can be renamed as upstream and downstream.
Hanji.
And all client funds can come only in upstream, and
Hanji.
all payouts only from downstream.
Correct.
And
Absolutely right.
this thing. Right now, we can receive funds and make payout from the same bank account. Now, this both receipt and payment are from two different accounts. I think still we should be able to manage within 30, hopefully.
Yeah.
First, there is a restriction. The people have said this limit should be enhanced to 60.
देख लेते हैं. Let us just look at it, because हमारा data यही बोल रहा है that people have maximum 15 only, because they have only in the clearing banks. And in each bank, I think more than one bank is not required. So upstream, if there are 15, which is maximum, then downstream also, if we open in all, then we will have another 15. But still, if we find any issues,
I think we'll revert back to you. I think we'll revert back to you if it is this thing.
Certainly.
If I need funds, if just another my point, we first put from upstream to the settlement account or the CC?
First from upstream to settlement and then to CC.
Settlement to CC, then from CC to for withdrawal to the downstream? How will it come?
CC again will give in settlement account, and from there we have to take it to downstream.
So you, but can it not move from settlement to downstream?
So it is moving from settlement only because first it has gone to CC. CC will give in the settlement account, and from settlement it will come to DS, and from DS we can make payment to clients.
Just one second.
And from settlement, whatever is your own, you have taken withdrawal for your own purpose, that will go directly to the own account. So there will be two ways. One will go to own and one will come to DS. And when we are asking for release, then we have to give those reason codes.
No, I'm just taking 1 minute, madam. I'm saying from upstream to settlement, from settlement to CC, then CC to settlement, and settlement to downstream.
Yes. And also own if you have your own.
Yes, settlement to own if there is a need. Downstream or the
yeah. Two ways it can go.
So I'm saying now there are the three transactions, two transactions first for going upwards, upstream to settlement, settlement to CC, then CC to settlement. And then the funds coming to the downstream.
Absolutely.
While earlier it was straight from the same account where you have received, you could have released the payment.
Yes. So now only it will be one way.
Yeah, understood. It is only one way, but the process of using those funds for the client payment means at least 2-3 hours time,
Yes, because it has to be first go up and then it can come down.
I'm saying this is just from the point of view, the convenience and the ease of business. I'm just trying to say, while segregation is already there, allocation is already there, client funds are identified. We already, I mean, it will result in a 2-3 hours delay, a good delay, or otherwise bringing lot many extra funds.
For the purpose of monitoring, because otherwise you will not be able to reconcile.
No, I'm just highlighting the issue.
Today
I'm just highlighting the issue. If I say that we will use the upstream funds and they have to go to the downstream, it will be a minimum 2 hours time, which looks like.
Yes, it will take. It will take. Yes.
Because there are 5 transactions.
But if you have an average, because every member is having an average that how many funds are required on a daily basis, which is to be released to clients as payout, that we can take in the morning itself, a buffer, and those money can be used for making payment to clients, because everyone has that kind of an average of last, say, a month or 20 days. We can keep looking at what was the average payout to clients, what payout clients are asking. That prospective amount we can withdraw in the morning itself, which will be there in the downstream for making payment. If I'm not using the full, I can again transfer it back to upstream and it goes up.
Okay, we'll just see. We just wanted to highlight, Madam Dostri.
Sure. Understood.
See, issue of cutoff time has already been taken. The payments keep receiving. We'll give you the data, Madam. Question number 14. Because the funds comes after. So how do we make the balance nil in the upstream account? That is the point. Upstream account cannot be nil. This we have already covered. We'll give you the data. Then you can take the decision. Question number 16, can we transfer fund from upstream account to downstreaming account for payout purposes? It has been said no. 16 is no right now. We cannot transfer any fund from upstreaming account to downstreaming account for payout purpose.
No.
As per the rules, monthly and quarterly settlement and returning funds of the clients not traded in last 30 days. SB has to wait for billing and then process the payouts. How it will be done if the billing happens late due to late file received from exchange beyond cutoff time? Yes, madam, you tell.
आंटी बोलिए
नहीं आप ही बोलिए मैडम मैं सुन रहा हूँ.
So आप बोल रहे हैं कि आपको तो मालूम ही है ना कितना आपने approximately settle करना है, and you have taken a release, and that day some funds would be there. I agree, because the files go late to the bank. So we will have to see that only for this day how we take it, because now in fact July 1st week itself this date is coming. Then whatever happens on that day, how much amount is left, accordingly we will approach SEBI only for this settlement day. Anything which is getting transferred, which is debited next day morning also, can be looked at as a compliance. So just we will see what happens on the first Friday, because you are saying that you will take a release.
Okay, madam, no issue.
And every amount may not get debited because the amounts are like transfers are going to bank a little late because of your calculation of settlement. So let us see how much amount is getting debited, and if that amount we consider it as compliance only on 4 days, which is once a quarter in a year.
Madam, question number 18, again, it's saying before cutoff time can be transferred from upstream to downstream. Both are pure client account and all segregated. Can it be done?
No. From upstream to downstream, strictly no. Only from downstream to upstream it can come back for further upstreaming it to the CC. So from upstream, no amount can go to downstream. We are giving FAQ also today. We'll be releasing it to the members, and this is completely not done.
Question number
From
19.
upstream, nothing.
Okay,
Shivkumarji, one question related to your earlier question. Ma'am, what will happen if what should be done in case where the funds payout is processed to the client and subsequently payout is getting rejected by the bank due to any reason? Then what should be done with that remaining funds? This is by one of the participants, Trade Board.
Understood. Actually, Vadvaji will have to see ऐसा कितना परसेंटेज में हो रहा है. अगेन जैसा हमने शुरू में भी बात किया कि let us see how much percentage comes after the cutoff time and how much percentage gets rejected. So we can also look at this data as well of the past 3 maybe settlements we have already witnessed. Can we have a look at the data in how much percentage we got the rejection, because we'll have a data, we can support it with numbers. While you are giving this, can we support it with that also? This will help us.
Just one thought, madam. How much dilution in the provision will come if the upstream to downstreaming is allowed funds for both are being client account, because nothing is going to the own account. It is only upstream, downstream only for client account. Whether any major dilution is going to happen, especially when the allocation and segregations are already there at the EOD basis.
Goyalji, main problem is that monitoring becomes very difficult for you also. That everything
no, sir,
which has come in has gone up.
Sir, in that case, you don't require 2 accounts, na?
No. I am saying please maintain for segregation, but for the payout purpose, if there is a need be, because 2 hours is the time for making there are 2 more steps. Just think over. This is the thought which has come from many members. The question is coming from that point of view. Many questions are coming upstream to downstream before cutoff time. A second thing, another question is, if some funds have come after the cutoff time and there is a bank balance, what do we do? Whether we report for all segregate everything till the cutoff time, and after that, for reporting purpose, we treat it as the next day?
See, it
Sir,
is not
reporting you have to do as is basis. Reporting, sir, you cannot.
So
you have to ask for segregation reporting. You have to about segregation reporting. You have to report what actually is with you. You cannot report it at 0 at the end of the day.
Well, reporting is end of the day or at cutoff time?
Reporting is the end of the day, sir. But you cannot, if the funds are with you, which you are not able to upstream, then in the segregation reporting, you have to show it as funds lying with you.
Okay, fine. So if in any case, if any funds are received after the cutoff time, it will be reported as at present.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question number 20, whether stockbroker has many this upstreaming collection account, and practically it will be difficult to collect the fund from all such bank account within the stringent cutoff time. Suppose there are 5, I'm not saying many, 4 or 5 upstreaming accounts. So we have to move these accounts into one single settlement account, which will involve RTGS transfers from one bank account to another. Suppose we have one bank account which is settlement account, which is there, and we have 4 or 5 upstream accounts. So we have to transfer interbank large funds. Those funds have to come in.
I think if we set a process, Goyalji, then all these things are electronic nowadays. And if we transfer funds and upstream, it is just click of a button.
Madam, I mean, there are particularly the PSU banks. This is a major issue. PSU banks will be going to major issue. This will, we have to move from the clearing. I mean, it will affect the PSU banks substantially. All funds have to move because we will not be able to electronically transfer the funds from those accounts to the settlement account.
Even in private banks, sometimes some technical glitches come, and even the RTGS takes more than 4 or 5 hours. We have faced in past.
Madam, just we are leaving this thought because it's not one bank, one upstreaming. These are multiple upstreaming accounts, say 4 or 5, and going to a one single settlement bank account. Next 21, you are saying if any payout funds got rejected by banks due to various reasons, so they have to be reported like funds lying in the upstreaming account. This 22nd part about the fund received but kept in suspense due to client is not identifiable. In that case, do we upstream the funds and then what do we do?
SARA funds has to be upstream. So whatever fund is lying with us as of now in one bank account, which is carrying a money of unclaimed funds of those clients who we are not able to contact, that money also has to be upstreamed by allocating it to the same client. And whenever client comes, we can pay it back.
Okay. Otherwise, let it continue with the CC that way.
Yeah. But in some time, just for the understanding of market, we SEBI is working on it, that if this unclaimed funds can be deposited with the stock exchanges.
Okay. Question number 23, madam. We are TCM in NSC and we have 100 crore of client funds, which we have upstream to clearing corporation. Suppose if M2M of today is 5 crore negative for client, how will we fulfill this obligation in morning? Should we put our funds in system and withdraw it when received from CC? Hello, Madam, I think what he's saying, there is suppose funds have to be received from cash market from the clearing corporation and have to go for paying of the to the CM.
So
CM को देना है पैसा और हमारे कैश मार्केट से पे आउट में फंड्स पड़े हुए हैं, वहां से आने हैं, विड्रॉ करने हैं. क्योंकि शाम को सारे पैसे कर दिए. इट इज कमिंग बिटवीन द सीसी एंड द क्लियरिंग मेंबर को हमने पैसे देने हैं. पे आउट क्लियरिंग मेंबर हमें हमारा पे इन है विद द क्लियरिंग मेंबर और हमारे फंड्स पड़े हैं विद द सीसी से एनसीएल इन कैश मार्केट. हम कैसे पे इन करें?
तो ऐसे केस में ना गोयल जी सीएम ही मांगेगा ना फंड्स. सो सीएम फंड्स रिलीज लेगा, सेटलमेंट अकाउंट में आएगा और वहीं से वापस पे इन लग जाएगा तो भाई.
Okay. Question number 24. Just 1 second. As all the funds at the day end will be upstream, then on next day, if there is a net paying obligation to some broker, how has to be managed? Considering 4 types. वो तो आपने circular में cover कर दिया, madam. I think, ना?
Let us pick out smaller points.
हाँ, आप बड़ा point ले लीजिए. अजय, आप ले लीजिए.
नहीं, आप ही लीजिए, शिवकुमार जी.
26 FDs made for parking funds out of the broker's own net worth borrowing into client bank account and placed with the CC. Funds of said FDR at the time of liquidation should be allowed to move to own account. तो own account तो इसमें तो कोई problem नहीं है. जो own funds की FDR है, madam, they will be moved to the own funds.
Yes, those can go wherever those were created. It can go.
Okay.
Only the client funds FD has to come back to upstream account.
Yes. Madam,
Shivkumar ji, one more question. I initially asked to Piyush ji. He answered very difficult to segregate these FDRs. Piyush ji, can we do mark just like client account? Can we mark FDR as prop FDR and distinguish it and segregate it in that manner, so that there is no issue of tenure also in those issues or those FDRs. If we mark it as a prop FDR.
अगर आप prop कर भी करोगे उसको, after that allocation में तो you can do it client level, right, sir? So that is the problem, sir.
Then we cannot allocate it to any client out of that. Either we say only prop. In that case, we cannot allocate to any client.
No, but it has a lien, it has a pledge basically.
But he's saying his client, if it is allocated to client, then the FDR tenure cannot be more than a year. Either we say it is a prop FDR and cannot be allocated to the client, then it is different. But if we are allocating to the client, then they don't want the tenure of more than a year.
No, it is just allocation from the prop fund. It is not. It is not client's money basically. It's prop money. The tenure should not be issued. That is my limited point.
But if it is allocated to client, then it is like a client fund, which I have understood from what Piyush is saying. I think 27. Question number 27. Existing timeline to comply, no BG shall be made with the underlying FDs from client account is 30th/9. It is written, the broker shall not avail any facilities based on FDR created on client funds, thus pushing the effective date to 8 July. I think after from 1st July onward, no fresh FDR BG can be made out of the client fund. This is what I've understood. And whatever is as on 30th September outstanding, that is to be liquidated. If you could be clarified by Renuji.
All the BGs will continue till September, whatever is in there, because from May we are saying that no BGs will be issued from the client funds. And FDs, as we said, as on 1st of July, all FDs should have only 1 year expiry. So any BG which is made and out of client funds can remain to 30th September. After that, it has to be liquidated. No more BGs from 1st of May.
Ajay ji, major point. Ajay ji, major point आगे आप देखिए.
शिवकुमार जी, बिफोर दैट मैडम, ये जो एफडीआर का आपको हमारे को प्रीमेच्योर करानी होगी, देयर विल बी ह्यूज लॉस टू द क्लाइंट, एंड वी आर नॉट सर्विंग द क्लाइंट हियर. Although we are implementing this circular, but somewhere we are not taking care of client interest also.
Yeah, I get your point.
Wadwadi, so Renuji is having a sympathetic view on this. She is saying you represent to exchanges and they will take it up with SEBI.
Sure.
That means they are saying that we will try and convince SEBI. If they get convinced, they will implement it. So we have to work with SEBI also on this.
Sure, sure. Ajay ji, remaining questions?
Ajay ji,
a lot of questions are there, so can deliberate again, I think. A lot of questions has been taken up and a lot of other queries are there.
Ajay ji, ये point लेने के बाद we have a question and answer 57 questions, unless they are repetitive.
Most of the questions are on the fungibility between downstream and upstream account. I'm seeing that. Like question number 28 to 32, like a lot of questions are whether both can be adjusted.
Yes. Next, आगे ले लेते हैं वो. I think that is clarified by Renu ji that it has to move through settlement to CC to downstream, CC to settlement to then to downstream. Those 4 steps in between are required.
Question number 31 is related to untraceable account, which has been addressed by Renu ji.
Addressed by Renu ji, yeah. MOFOS is clarified now. There's Piyush ji, you are saying since it is the demat shares, it has to be a pledge mechanism only, and we have to allocate it client wise. we have a single account where we are holding this MOFS. We have to client-wise allocate and then repledge, pledge. Question number 33.
We have to take up this point with the depositories.
Okay.
Be done as per PUG.
Okay. Then next, I think this is all covered. Next, 37. No, next. This one question 39, madam, if I just wanted to know from you, we keep the FDR below 1 year and there is a interest payment on quarterly basis. And suppose it is say made on 1st of Jan, we have received the interest on 31st March and there is a FDR breakup say on say 4th of April or so. Whether this, how do we ensure this principal amount protection? If it is the payable on maturity, then yes, but if it is quarterly, then there is an issue coming up.
Shiv Kumar ji, I think we have to ensure it, because if we are giving FD as a margin, we have to ensure it. So I think let us discuss it internally.
Then we have to discuss with the banks. Should banks are saying, how do we do? That is the only point, sir.
So no, we have to ensure it. I think
we will ensure with banks. Okay.
Yeah, that is a logical thing. Because if you are giving FD as a margin, you have to ensure that when it is revoked, the principal is, at least the principal is paid to the exchange. So I think
we will sort it out with the banks.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. Understood. Ajay ji, you will take this 59 question and answers.
I'm saying like most of the questions are repeated. So
I have one or two important questions.
Just one important question. Can the broker make the payout to client from own funds and seek download of the funds later?
These are at the current, in the current, per the extent provisions also, the broker cannot make the payment from the own account to the, to the client also. So that is also, current situations also. And after the circular also, the funds cannot be given from own bank account to directly client. It has to be given through the downstreaming account only.
No. Can we move the fund from own account to the downstream? And
So sir, the downstream can have, this account can receive funds from only settlement account. You cannot receive funds from the own account.
Okay, can it be from own to settlement to downstream?
No, sir. The objective of downstreaming is that it is for the transferring money to the client. So whatever the the release which you have made from the clearing corporations, that will come to settlement, and from settlement it will be distributed in own or downstreaming. The own, it would be definitely your own money, and from in downstreaming it would be for.
I am making a very small request. Suppose own funds to settlement, then downstream, is it possible, or it has to go to CC first and then CC to settlement and then downstream?
Yeah, it has to go to CC only, because as per the the current framework, whatever payments you are making to the client, it should come from the clearing corporation.
So even if we are making a payment from own account, you are saying, and then to the clients, we have to put the fund from own funds to the settlement to CCs and CC to settlement.
Yeah. So then once you have to transfer money to CC, then you have to put a release request wherein you select the appropriate reason, and then from that where you will take the money in settlement, and from settlement to downstreaming, and then downstreaming to the client. This is how the flow is.
So one question is, what do we do with the existing client bank account? These need to be renamed. That's all. Either upstream or downstream. This is what I want.
Right. So all these existing account has to be retagged, renamed, and if you don't want any account, you may close it, like any client bank account should not be there, with after implementation of the circular.
One question is, we have received an income tax notice, ED notice asking us to hold the funds of the certain clients. Based on their direction, we hold the funds of their clients. Now, one clarification, what is required to be done from our end with regard to the funds hold on the IT notice?
So, sir, this is one exceptional situation where you have also a regulatory order, So
No,
that
Naresh. In that case, they will upstream it back to CC, na?
no, right.
They are required not to pay the money to the client. That's all.
Yeah. So, right. Actually, where the money, if the the order is like that, where you can not to transfer the money to the client, that is fine. Then there, in that case, you will have to give it to the clearing corporation. But if order is different in a way, then we will have to.
Yes. At times, usually the order is status quo to be maintained. So,
sir, in that case, please go by the order.
Depending on the order, I think appropriate action will have to be taken, because
correct, sir. So if it bilkul sir, right? So if the order is status quo, then do nothing. If the order says don't give payout to client, then आप उसको upstream कर दीजिए जब तक वो फिर रुकता नहीं है.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Another question.
Yeah, Shukpaji, one question is related to institution broker. This came up, like for buy DVP trade, fund paying to the exchange is made from own fund on T+1 morning 9 a.m. The custodian will transfer fund to broker only post receipt of the stocks. Practically, funds from the custodian will receive only between 4 to 7 p.m. So these funds will be received in upstream account. How do we transfer and withdraw these funds, as fund withdrawal time is till 4:30 p.m. So the query raises, can these funds be upstream until 5 p.m.? Can these funds be received in the broker own account? And can these funds be moved from upstream account directly to the settlement account and then own account without giving it to the exchange? In case of DVP trade, where the matching does not happen and broker has to make the payment from their own account. Piyush ji?
Yeah, Piyush.
Yeah. Renu ji, you can answer.
No, I'm saying Ajay ji, abhi tak koi relaxation nahi hai, that whether it is coming from which kind of a client, whatever is received in the US account, which are from client, has to be upstreamed necessarily, and then it has to come back as a release with the specific reason that this is on account of this and goes to own account.
Madam, can the amount from one upstream account can be transferred to another upstream account, so that in one account we have auto sweep kind of arrangement?
Yeah, between upstreams you can do.
Okay.
Between upstreams you can do, and if you want to make one account linked to your settlement, all money comes into one, that is your arrangement, that between them you can do. Only upstream se downstream mein you cannot transfer.
Direct nahi ja sakta. Direct nahi ja sakta. Another question from Choice, Ajay Kejriwal is there. Settlement account for upstream and downstream to be separate or single? Co-mingling may create an issue. This is from Choice.
So, sir, currently the upstreaming and downstream account should be a separate account. With respect to the settlement as such, there is no restriction. But as a best practice, if if you feel that co-mingling is if it is creating issue, it may be separate also. But that is something that your arrangement. But if we go by regulatory requirement, upstreaming and downstreaming account should be a separate one.
But ideally आप एक ही account को map रखोगे ना, settlement account also you'll map one account.
Yeah.
तो आपके लिए भी difficulty होगा to do two.
For NRI client, can we settle the funds paid and pay out from one bank account, OD stockbroker? For NRI clients, well, he's not saying upstream and downstream. Can we have one separate account, only one single account for the NRI clients? Madam, any relaxation for NRIs?
No, there is no relaxation.
Okay. Another question is, if we place all collateral at exchange but do not allocate to a particular client, then the collateral should be shown in place with NCL in segregation report file. If yes, will there be a mismatch file downloaded by NCL? Unsegregated file is lying, funds are lying with the NCL from upstream to CC. This can happen, madam?
Josefa, Piyush, Josefa or Piyush, anybody is there?
Surplus funds are shown as unallocated, no? Funds are totally with the NCL. Few are not segregated, allocated. Mr. Piyush, if you could.
Hello, can you repeat the question, sir?
If we place all the funds with the exchange CC and do not allocate to a particular client, that is feasible, no?
If you
some amount is not allocated out of, say, 100 crore is placed through upstream to the.
Sir, we don't have any problem. Renu, will you have any issue if we don't? It's not there. We don't have any problem, sir, in terms of we don't allocate it.
Right, we don't have problem, but ultimately margin, etc. How will you be adjusting for that client? That you have to see, because ultimately margin requirement of that client is there. Then you should be allocating to that respective client. You have to see.
Okay. For this particular circular, there is no issue if it is lying unallocated, but as long as it is upstream, from upstream account to the NCL it goes.
But sir, details should be correct in segregation file.
No, इसमें नहीं है.
Yes. Sir, आप लेंगे ये अभी.
One question is related to payment gateway, because the payment gateway, the money is received, but from the gateway provider, money comes on, say, T+1, T+2 day. So how to deal with that?
Money is not complete.
Broker gives credit to the client at the very same time, but the actual money comes after T+1, T+2.
So this is there in present situation also. कि अगर अपना कुछ चेक आया था या फिर which is less percentage check का, but payment gateway which is received on T+1, but you are giving in the file.
You ordering order then.
Madam, madam, one more question: whether these FDs of the client funds are to be made out of the upstream account or downstream account?
Upstream account. From downstream तो आपके पास पैसा आया ही नहीं है. आप सिर्फ रिलीज करने के लिए ले रहे हो ना. तो अपस्ट्रीम में आपके पास पैसा आ रहा है, उसी में से we will make the FDs.
Suppose उसमें जो interest है, that will also come in a upstream account.
हाँ जी.
For withdrawal, it has to again move to the settlement to the CC and then back.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
Any funds which is to be from upstream to downstream, it will route through the process only, no direct transfer, sir. जो लिखा है यानी.
Agree.
Question is, callable fixed deposit means that they can be converted into premature withdrawal at any point of time. That is callable FD, madam. That is clear. One more question, madam. Is this circular is applicable to TMCM who is doing clearing only for CP institutional clients? Madam, there is a client who is doing the only custodian work through the CP and he is a self-clearing member. Is it applicable to him?
Yeah, for CP code also it is applicable.
Okay. Another question is again coming, madam. Currency market and commodity markets are running beyond 637. Then how do we handle?
Currently, this is how it is.
Okay. And whether NRI funds are exempted? No.
Shivkumar, there are few questions by Virender Arora ji also.
So we can allow
Virender
Arora ji, aap le le yahan se.
Virender ji, aap le lo.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir.
Yes, sir.
So my first question is related to the bank guarantees which are allowed till 30th September. The FDs which are pledged with those bank guarantees. Let's take the example, if a bank guarantee is expiring on say 15th October 24, I will get this FD on 30th September from CC, and I should be allowed to deposit this FD on 15th of October 23. So तब ये तो नहीं होना चाहिए ना कि like ये FD residual period is 1 year, but the
sir, you cannot create a FD and keep it with you. You have to DNMAR to CC.
No, FD is already there pledged with that bank guarantee. I'll be going to receive
FD cannot be pledged also and also bank guarantee on it.
No.
If it's a bank guarantee on that, it means this FD is not pledged to us.
No, not pledged to you. The FD is lying with the bank. That's against that FD, bank has issued the bank guarantee. I'm going to receive that FD on 30th September when I withdraw the bank guarantee from CC. The residual period of that FD
sir,
is
in your example, आपने FD बनाया, उसके ऊपर BG लिया, ठीक है?
Correct.
वो FD जो है उसका एक्सपायरी है 15 अक्टूबर 2024 को.
Correct.
आपने बोला BG सितंबर 30 को मैं तोड़ दूंगा because सेबी सर्कुलर से तोड़ दो. उसके बाद में you are saying that for 15 days I will not DNMAR this FD to anyone. On October 15 I will of 2023 I'll DNMAR to CC so that the residual maturity of 1 year is complied with. Answer currently is no. You cannot do that because in that case 15 days के लिए the FD lies with you.
I am ready to give that FD to CC on 30th September itself.
नहीं but sir वो residual maturity फिर इसका ये होगा ना, it will violate the residual maturity.
Residual maturity, the period would not be exactly 365 days for all the FDs.
So that is what the requirement of SEBI circular is, sir. It is not our thing. 1 year के ऊपर नहीं है अभी right now.
Okay, so किसी का अगर 1 year से कम है तो वो again I have to like get it premature, और अगर ज्यादा है
नहीं
तो
नहीं,
मैं
अगर आपका सेम केस में आपका अगर बैंक गारंटी बना हुआ है और वो FD का एक्सपायरी 25 सितंबर 2024 है, then perfectly fine, right? October 1 को आप हमको दे दोगे, वो आपका बैंक गारंटी निकल जाएगा. October 1 को we'll give it FD to us, that is fine.
Okay. But अगर 1 साल से ज्यादा है तो वो प्रॉब्लम.
Correct.
That is a very valid clarification. Very important clarification.
Residual period will be 1 year will be counted from 30th September.
सर शिव कुमार जी वो कह रहे हैं कि अगर वो 25 सितंबर 24 तक भी है
तो चलेगा,
तो भी चलेगा.
Okay.
बट अगर वो 15 अक्टूबर है तो उसमें टेक्निकल प्रॉब्लम है. We cannot keep that FD with us for 15 days and we cannot give that FD to CC also.
Okay.
So my second query is related to point number G of yesterday's circular. It says the heads of the reason codes for withdrawal of money is for clearing member, whether it is applicable on SCM also.
Yes, sir. Clearing members में SCM also.
Okay, fine. My next query is that we were talking about the checks which got cleared after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. I want to submit here that we got 100% checks cleared after 8 p.m. एक्चुअली द सिस्टम इज, भले ही वो टोटल वॉल्यूम का भले ही 5% है या 15% है, बट जो भी चेक्स मैं 1 जुलाई को कलेक्ट करके जमा कराऊंगा बैंक में, उसका वैल्यू डेट होगा 2 जुलाई, और वो वैल्यू डेट 2 जुलाई को यूजेबल होगा आफ्टर 8 PM ओनली. सो देयर इज नो क्वेश्चन दैट हाउ मेनी परसेंटेज ऑफ चेक्स getting cleared after 6 PM. The whatever is the
question is
number.
not that. Question is not that. Question is how much of funds, including checks, come to you after 6 PM. Question is not how much percent of checks getting cleared after 6 PM. The data हमने जो मांगा ना आपसे, the data we are asking how much funds, including checks, come to you after 6 PM, sir.
Well, that is a separate question. My query is a little bit separate. That I am talking about all the checks, whether it is 5% or 10%, we are getting throughout the day. So all the checks, we will be able to use that money on value date after 8 PM only. So जब भी आप ऑडिट के लिए आएंगे हम लोग के पास कि 1 जुलाई या 2 जुलाई को आपके पास कितना पैसा था बैंक में और आपने वो पूरा अपस्ट्रीम किया या नहीं किया, तो every time there will be a mismatch up to the checks cleared on that day, because 100% checks gets cleared after 8 PM only. तो वैल्यू डेट को 8 बजे के बाद ही को उसका पैसा मिलता है. That is my query.
नहीं तो अभी भी अरोड़ा जी, अभी भी ऐसा ही होता है ना. अभी भी तो आपके पास जो भी आपके अकाउंट में पैसा है, that has to be upstreamed. We are not saying that what checks have not been cleared needs to be upstreamed.
But
हमारा कहना क्या है, जो भी पैसा आपके बैंक अकाउंट में है, that has to be upstreamed.
Correct.
And
But
when we are saying client funds, how do we look at client funds? Whatever is the clear ledger balance of all those clients, which means
correct,
whatever you have posted in your client ledger. So there
absolutely
is no
correct, ma'am.
question
But
what is deposited today comes tomorrow. We will not
No,
affect
no,
this.
see, ma'am, जब 2024 में आप आएंगे इंस्पेक्शन के लिए और आप चेक करेंगे बैंक बैलेंस मेरा चेक करेंगे, तो 1 जुलाई 2 जुलाई एवरी डे यू विल गेट सम बैंक बैलेंस लाइंग विद मी, बिकॉज वैल्यू डेट तो वो 1 जुलाई ही है. मुझे पैसा, लेकिन वो मैं 7 बजे से पहले आपको अपस्ट्रीम नहीं कर सकता हूँ, बिकॉज वो पैसा वहां पर बैंक में यूजेबल नहीं होता.
I raise the same point because वो बाउंस हो सकता है बिफोर दैट टाइम.
एग्जैक्टली लेकिन कल को 1 साल बाद 2 साल बाद जब इंस्पेक्टिंग ऑफिशियल्स चेक करेंगे तो एवरी डे हमारे बैंक में कुछ बैलेंस नजर आएगा उनको, बिकॉज वैल्यू डेट.
थोड़ा जी क्लियर बैलेंस की बात हो रही है ना.
मैडम
क्लियर बैलेंस तो आपका विड्रॉएबल है ही नहीं, उसको आप कैसे ट्रांसफर करोगे ना.
मैडम लेकिन आप जब 1 जुलाई 2024 को बैंक से पूछेंगे कि 1 जुलाई 2023 को इनका बैलेंस क्या था, तो बैंक तो क्लियर बैलेंस ही बोलेगा, क्योंकि बैंक क्लियर.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं होता है. हमारे पास अभी भी जो आता है, वी टेक अ क्लियर बैलेंस. जहां पर आपके जो चेक्स डिपॉजिटेड हैं और क्लियर नहीं हुए हैं, वी डोंट ट्रीट इट एज अ क्लियर बैलेंस. अगर इस तरह से ट्रीट होगा तो रोज का क्रेडिट बैलेंस जो क्रेडिटर्स अवेलेबिलिटी है सबका शॉर्ट हो जाएगा.
मैडम let me try to explain my query once again.
जी हाँ.
बैंक आपको जो बैलेंस बताएगा ना मैम, वो ये नहीं बताएगा कि ये बैलेंस 6 PM को था या 8 PM को था. बैंक बताएगा कि 1 जुलाई को टिल मिडनाइट यानी EOD पर इस पार्टी का क्लियर बैलेंस क्या था. तो जो रात को 12 बजे EOD पे क्लियर बैलेंस था, वो क्लियर बैलेंस मुझे 6 बजे या 7 बजे अवेलेबल नहीं था. दैट इज माई पॉइंट.
रेनू जी, आई रेज द सेम पॉइंट. उसमें क्या है कि क्लाइंट का जो चेक डिपॉजिट हुआ है वैल्यू डेट नेक्स्ट डे का है, तो उसमें देयर इज प्रोबेबिलिटी कि वो 7 बजे 8 बजे जाके बैंक बाउंस कर दे उसको.
बट बाद में जब आप पूछने जाएंगे, बट बाद में जब आप पूछने जाएंगे वो
प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. बाउंस हुआ तो प्रॉब्लम ही नहीं है. जहां पर आपका फंड्स पड़ा है जो कि आप कट ऑफ टाइम के बाद क्रेडिट होके आया है, हमने अभी यही बात किया था कि जो भी कट ऑफ टाइम के बाद आया है, वेदर इट इज चेक और इट इज ऑनलाइन, क्या नंबर है एक बार देख लेते हैं ना एंटायर मार्केट का, देन लेट अस लुक एट इट.
ठीक है मैडम.
वरिंदर जी इसको आगे बढ़ाओ.
श्योर. मेरी लास्ट क्वेरी है, व्हाट अबाउट द पेइंग फंड्स रिक्वायर्ड फॉर MCX, राइट? We were talking about value date request for making pains. तो commodity का तो पेन का हम लोग को रात को आफ्टर मिडनाइट 2 AM 3 AM तक ही बिलिंग फाइनल होता है. तो सुबह उसका पेन करने के लिए तो वैल्यू डेट before one day, though, we won't be able to make the request. तो उसका कैसे होगा? लाइक एमसीएस का सुबह पे इन के लिए वो कैसे हम लोग कब रिक्वेस्ट प्लेस करेंगे? Anyone can answer?
Sir, in NCL, you can ask immediate day release on the morning, and you will get the funds by around 8:30.
8:30 you can request, by 9 you can get it.
Okay, by 8:30 a.m. I have to make the request, and by 9 a.m. I will get the
Yes,
funds.
yes.
Fine.
Just one question which is coming here is this MD interest which is coming. Then when it is to be withdrawn, it is not part of the G reporting reason. Interest on FDs is not part of the withdrawable reason here, madam. Can it be looked at it?
Sure, we will have a look.
Okay, it could be the major component which is not there here. GST is also not specified. I think those things, this has to become a little more either exhaustive or inclusive. Some clause which is inclusive, like Ashok ji has said, if possible.
ठीक है.
Sir, as you mentioned, आप जितना भी है ना, आपके जितने रीजन कोड आपके दिमाग में आते हैं, हमको आप भेज दीजिए. We'll give you clarification whether they can be included in the existing reason codes or we'll create new reason codes उसके लिए. Inclusive एक all catch all तो शायद नहीं कर पाएंगे, because then क्या होगा कि everyone will only put in that. Other में ही आएगा वो सब कुछ. This is in the past. We're talking about from past experience.
No, we'll specify. We'll
yes, sir. We will try
तो
to.
आप जितने सर, हाँ, अभी जितने सोच सकते हो आप कर लीजिए. By the periodical also we can do that. Every few months we can look at new reason codes. No problem, sir. अभी एटलीस्ट आपके दिमाग में जो आते हैं ना, वो आप भेज दीजिए हमको. We'll give either a clarification how which or the existing reason code you can put it in, or if you have to create new reason codes, we'll do that.
One question is coming. May I ask?
Yeah.
One question is coming that FD will be created from upstream account, say for 100, and on maturity day amount is 105. So how to get 5 rupees interest into own account? Interest and principal will get credited in upstream account and now sent to settlement to CC. Now do the downstream of interest from CC to settlement and from settlement to own as against downstream. Reason code other charges which says DP and etc. It is.
No, I have just covered that point. Just covered point. G does not include any interest. So every interest will come as a point. Similarly, GST, I mean, that is where we have just discussed. We'll make this exhaustive. This G has to be more exhaustive. Right now, it does not cover FD interest. It does not cover GST. And maybe it does not cover the interest charges, etc., which are there for the 50-50 and other things. No, that could be other levels.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Shivaji, our issues, the list of issues are over?
I think we have covered, sir. Many points have been covered.
So we have Sandeep Sharma ji also from BSc. Sandeep ji, can you join in and tell us the circular which we have received from NSC? When are we getting similar circular from BSc? Sandeep ji?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We will also issue the same circular, sir.
Anything you want to put in here? I mean, the issues we have discussed, you have anything on that?
Yeah, sir, since the circular will bring more operation changes at CC and broker end, so from stock exchange standpoint, we just want to inform that stockbroker that not while reporting or monitoring of enhanced supervision principles, so there should not be any consideration of client fund left in the upstream account. So make sure that stockbroker upstream all funds to CC within timeline. So, and reporting of and the highlight that display of upstream account on broker website is also important. which we have mentioned in the circular.
Renuji, two more questions come in. Can the funds be moved between one settlement account to another before we move to CC?
You can do that if you have to, because ultimately your like fund
Because
will go
there
to
is a
CC from one.
separate settlement account for each segment. I have got the funds.
You can do that. You can do that.
Okay. Second question which has come in is the funds have been received or say on a non-settlement day or Saturday or Sunday. So they will be upstreamed only after the next working day.
Is there any talks going on with the RBI or banks to provide such kind of facility to temporarily freeze the account to get the credits like there is a provision in DP? To avoid such kind of Saturday, Sunday or late evening receipts of funds.
Let us have a look, Aruna ji, ki kitna hai issues. After you said that you will be giving some numbers to us.
Sure.
Then let us see that whether SEBI to talk to RBI or within us we need to decide something.
One more.
Madam Shivgati, on this only, since there is a provision for reconciliation, even if the funds are there and I am able to demonstrate the reconciliation, there should not be any issue in that. Basically, if some funds are left and I am able to explain it, some reconciliation is there.
No. Currently, Vadaji, everything has to be upstream. Let us have a look what number it is as we are discussing checks, etc., or client getting money deposited directly. Then let us have a look at it. But currently, even if we are doing reconciliation, it has to be upstream. Nothing should remain.
Renuji, there is also restrictions by many banks where they restrict the amount of fund that can be transferred. RTGS, they have a limit of amount. How will we handle that?
I think, Ashokji, that is tested already during settlement, because when we transferred entire money on one particular day, this was coming as big question. But within next 2 days, we have seen the funds have come in back.
That we are doing, from a particular bank, but now maybe one will have to use all the bank for upstreaming, and some banks may have lower limit. Earlier, what was happening was you were transferring fund from bank to one bank and then transferring the money. Now, maybe the upstreaming, because of the timing involved, upstreaming may happen directly from all the bank. Because time, otherwise time will be wasted from transferring it from one bank to other bank.
Understood. Like I believe now, as the securities market and all of us are evolving and the rules are changing from time to time, banks also have to think of it. Wherever there are limits, and whereas in other banks, if there are no limits, then we need to tell those banks also to facilitate us.
Maybe exchange will have to speak to the banks and get the limits announced.
I think that customer speaks would be more having power because you are as a customer. But
no,
let us
see, we will definitely speak to the bank. But if you also speak, maybe
sure. Because today, if a customer says that I am going somewhere else, you have to give me this facility because others are giving. In this competition, everyone offers. So
no,
I believe that should be accepted. But
no, that is right. But because you also have bank-wise limit, so one need to diversify to different bank.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that also
so let us request those people who do not have this limit. If anything comes in a way, we will, of course, from our side also, we can say that others are giving. I'm sure they will come forward on their own.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
Madam, two, three queries, whether this any extension, postponement because of this renaming the bank account, board resolutions, so many things. 3, 4 members have
कुछ नहीं लग रहा है अभी तक तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं लग रहा है
जी मैडम
Ma'am, if there is a FD which is non-callable and it is getting matured after this 30th June. Say it is maturing on 30th June 24. So what will happen? We have to
non-callable FDs in the present situation also. I don't know how we have, because I think banks are giving confirmations.
Okay.
So and second is that when you are saying that ideally this non-callable should not be, because
Okay.
in the present scenario this is not working. We will have to see which banks has done like this.
No,
But
I have just
secondly,
received the query from a colleague member.
so just another is that when you say that FD is valid till 30th June, so anyway that is up to 24, and that is as on 1st of July, then it is only 1 year. How much period this would be? I think more. Sorry.
One
So it
year.
would be
1 year.
13. So 1 year period anyway is allowed. More than 1 year is a problem. But
that
non-callable
FD
itself
is
is a
not
problem.
okay.
Non-callable itself is a problem. I think we'll have to check which is the bank who is doing this.
Also,
No, well,
in between, we
Actually,
have spoken to another. Hello.
non-callable FD, even today, CC is not accepting.
Yeah.
Today
Okay.
also, all the FDs that we are giving are callable. So I think that issue should not be there. Yeah.
Okay. Or it is so, then can the member withdraw it as like their own funds, like under these reason codes, and replace the deposit with the cash or another FD?
Piyush wanted to say something.
Yeah, that should be okay. That should be okay.
Great.
I believe, I was saying that I think the non-callable FD question is coming from perspective of client FD to member. Because I heard something like that. But in that case, the bank has said that they might be able to anyway break it because it's a regulatory mandate. Even if it's non-callable, the compliance would generally allow the breaking of such FD.
Otherwise, member can call back that money as their own fund and replace the client money with some other FD or cash.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah.
Otherwise, member can call back that non-callable FD.
Yeah, you can call it back. Correct.
As the member's own this thing prop fund,
yes,
and replace that client money with some other FD or cash. Perfect. Thank you.
Vadvaji,
Shubhamji, you have a question?
No, all covered, sir. All covered, Vadvaji. Now to you.
Okay. So I think this was a huge response today. 600 plus people participated, and many on YouTube also. And so many questions members, participants have asked. And our esteemed guest and the staffers from the CC and the exchanges were able to answer most of the questions. And as suggested by Piyush ji and Renu madam also, Zefa ji also, we will compile a few of the reasons where we should have some quotes, and so that life is easy for us and we are able to do it smoothly. And before I request my Vice President Sandeep Janji to conclude and formally give a vote of thanks, Ashok ji, would you like to add something in today's program? Anything you want to say, something? Ashok ji?
Yeah. So I think it was an excellent meeting, and thank for the patience shown by the Renu ji, Piyush ji, and all the office bearers. I think it is almost 7 and we started at 4:30. So it has been a very lengthy meeting and very engaging. And let us compile
more questions and more information that we have, so that they can help us in things where we definitely need help. Yeah.
Thank you, Ashokji. And thanks from my side to all the officials of CC, NCL, NSC, BSc, and MCX CC also. And now over to you, Sandeepji, for formal vote of thanks to all the participants as well as the speakers today.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Vadvaji. And actually, मैंने mobile से भी connect कर रखा है, and I'm on the screen also. But some technical issue is there. But anyways, thank you so much. First of all the participants. We have seen the exchange officials replying to all the queries so patiently. That's not an easy job. It's not an easy task. Also, Mr. Piyush Chaurasia ji, CRO NCL, has been answering to all the questions. Huzefa ji was there. Then Renu Bhandari ji, VP NSC. Then Sandeep Sharma ji. So I think the exchange officials and the dignitaries were there, and the questions being raised. And I think all our office bearers also, and all the association presidents, Ashok ji Wadhwa Sahab, Ashok ji Agarwal Sahab, Narendra Wadhwa ji, Shiv ji, Ajay ji, for managing all the questions and putting up after screening all the questions. Virendra Arora ji was also very instrumental. So I think 600 plus attendees and all the members were being patiently there since last, I think, 3 hours. 4:30 we started, so 2.5 hours. It's a big thing, and I think we can see the seriousness of the topic, how important the topic is. And I think, as everyone has already suggested, and the exchange dignitaries and officials have also suggested, that we should compile all the questions and come up with a proper letter to the exchanges. And I think all the queries should be compiled, and we will do that on behalf of our association. And thank you so much once again to all the exchange officials and dignitaries, and to all our office bearers, and of course all the attendees. 600 plus attendees, and lots of members were on the YouTube also. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you.